Hi guys, welcome back, and we are still talking about sensitive skin. So the last time we spoke about skin sensitivity, we were talking about one of the reasons why skin can become more sensitized is because of the product choices or product hopping. And one of the questions we need to be asking ourselves when we're looking at our choices of products that we've got in our cabinet is, are we pushing our skin that little bit too far? So remember, we were talking about barrier disruption. So when I talk about the skin's barrier, or whether the barrier has become more disrupted, is because the outermost layer of the skin is called the epidermis, and the outermost layer of that is called the stratum corneum. Now this is made up of a very complex layer of dead skin cells, and these dead skin cells do a fantastic job at keeping your skin waterproof, and it also generates something called the acid mantle, which allows our skin at the surface to be slightly acidic, around 5.5, and this slightly acidic pH kind of makes room for lots of micro-friendly bacteria at the skin surface, which is known as your microbiome, skin's microbiome. And all of this microbiome, skin's microbiome, assists with is good skin health, helps to contribute to good skin health. So that's a healthy barrier. So what happens when this barrier goes wrong? So essentially, when the skin becomes disrupted, this protective layer can't do the job that it's supposed to. It becomes cracked. So think of a bit like a sieve. Everything you pour into the sieve, it's going to get through. So that's your skincare, UV, environmental aggressors, all can get to places where it really shouldn't get. And the skin's job to keep everything intact and sealed and protected isn't doing that anymore. And when things start to get through and to places that it really shouldn't get, then this stimulates nerve endings, which then in turn releases some inflammatory ingredients. Then immune cells get triggered and produce inflammatory proteins, and this all makes the skin act in a more sensitive way. So we're talking redness, itchy, burning, stinging. And if you're more prone to acne, then because the barrier is disrupted, then if your skin is acting more sensitive than usual, then again breakouts can occur. So it's really important to go and take stock and look in your skincare cabinet, and if you have a 10-step skin routine process with lots of different actives using lots of different brands, potentially that might be the reason why your skin is more sensitive than usual. So what's a sensible skincare routine for somebody who has sensitive skin? Well, nothing too elaborate, very gentle, start very slowly. Start with your cleanse, get the cleanse wrong, and the rest of your routine will be very difficult to get right. So you want non-foaming, a cleanser that's not going to disrupt the natural pH of the skin, because the wrong pH will disrupt the acid mantle, which will then lead to all of those processes that we've explained before, leading to sensitivity. And also, as we get older, the pH of our skin becomes more alkaline, so it's even more important as we mature to really get this cleansing step right. So your active ingredients then with a sensitive skin, start very slowly, nice and gentle. In the first instance, I would say no actives for at least 2 or 3 weeks. Just lots of good ingredients that are going to repair this barrier. Introduce one new active at a time, so don't overload your skin with lots of different actives. Nice and slowly, and introduce your second active 6 to 8 weeks really, and each time you introduce a new active, just assess the skin's response before you start adding any more actives into that routine. So your hydration step, your moisturizer, this is a really important step for somebody who has sensitive skin. So I would look for ingredients like aloe vera, bisabolol, allantoin, and these ingredients will really help reduce the skin's tendency to be fiery, stingy and burning. And my opinion is just skip anything with fragrance in. They don't have any place, in my opinion, when it comes to a sensitive skin. It's only going to potentially disrupt that barrier even further, and that's not ideal. Sunscreen, then, you know the drill. You know I'm a biggie on this one for any skin type, not just sensitivity, but when it comes to sensitive skin, it is really, really important. So I'm talking a mineral sunscreen rather than a chemical one at this stage. Zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, these are the ingredients that you need to be looking for when you've got sensitive skin, and I just find that sensitive skin tolerates those ingredients much better than a chemical sunscreen. And I just find that with chemical sunscreens in a sensitive skin, these can trigger those inflammatory responses. So again, you might feel tingly, stinging, itching and burning just purely with a chemical sunscreen. So I hope this episode, second episode, helps you choose wisely when it comes to your routine. Keep it nice and simple. Remember, before you start adding in any actives, just give your skin a good break for a couple of weeks and then slowly introduce your actives.